All right, at 6:30, we'll call the meeting to order. So, going down through our agenda, we have a quorum of the board here. Proof of notice has been up on the exit gate on the website within the proper notice period. Reading of the minutes, I sent out the minutes earlier today with the slide deck, so I don't know if there's any changes. Maria captured everything as I can recollect in it, so. If there's no changes, I'll make the motion to waive the reading of the minutes and accept as presented.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we'll go through our status reporting here. We have some new status reports to look at. I got an update on the processes that I think we talked about last month, that we're going to have some of them that need to be sent out with proper notice ahead of the April meeting. And then I've got some commentary on the proposals we came back with, street cleaning, curb replacement, as well as the road repairs as one. And then I know we talked about with the positive and favorable comments about the benches, potentially adding some more benches in the community areas, not just in the rec area. So, status report, we'll go into the financials. So for the month here, we did have an outliner. As you noticed, G&A there was significantly higher. That was due to some mischarges that went in. There's about $2,500 that should have been applied to reserve for work that went into the recreation area that got booked into operating. So that will reverse out in March. You also have that same issue with the recreation. If you notice, last month I brought up there was $1,500 of concrete work that should have been put into reserve against the tennis courts reserve account. And it looked like Bernadette did reverse it, but she reversed it into another GL in the operating side. So that needs to be backed out too. So I mean, you're looking, $4,000 worth of change there on that. So overall, that makes a difference in the month. That'll essentially get us almost to a break even for the month versus the loss that we were showing. So that all the favorability will show up in next month's slides for the March period. Year to date, we're still running favorable. You'll see that G&A then flip back to green next month once we readjust that and then go forward from there. But year to date, we're still tracking. When you look at the net income slide, I'll talk more to it. We're still on track to beat that stretch target at 9.5% of the total income, or the revenue side of the house. So operating surplus expense days on hand, we're forecasting at the end of the year 465 days, which would be up from the 419 days we had. Right now we're through the first 2 months of the year, we're 594 days. So we did have higher collection pull-through. So we did have a nice drop in the collection activity, which I think we looked at last month. It's always highest at the pay period, or the beginning of each quarter. But as you can see here, from the net income to percent to the net revenue side, we've got right now we're at 3.7%. That's actually 7.4% when you factor in the reversals that'll happen. So, we're still tracking very well from an overall perspective year to date through the first 2 months to get to the stretch target of 9.5%. So, just a minor askew based on the reclassification that needs to happen. So, from a receivables perspective there, you see the monthly results. Last month we were at 34,000 receivables. Right now we closed February at 26,000. So we had solid pull through there. And we're tracking at right now 5.2% of the net revenue. So that we want to try to keep that under 5 if at all possible. And that's usually a rule of thumb on that. So, and you can see where the aging of the receivables are. We have out of that balance, you essentially have 19,000 of it loaded in the plus 90 days, and out of that, 3 accounts make up probably 98% of that entire total. So out of the entire balance that we have, the three accounts make up 85% of our total outstanding balance of 26,000. So we have, and when it comes to those 3 accounts, they're all with the attorney, or with Larson Collection. One of them, there is a court hearing for one of them to process, or for our foreclosure action on that home. We have liens on both of the other homes and going through the process, the rather lengthy process from there. So, and then if you look at the aging by homeowner account, you can see you've got six people at 90+ days, which is pretty good. Most of this other stuff is minor stuff with cleanup, not a major. So the project dashboard here, just to take you through the highlights, I've added the refinish to the entrance and exit gates to the project list. If you look at that, that'd have to be removed and powder coated. Working on quotes on that, it's probably going to be about $7,000 aside. And the big issue that we have now is to, when they remove the gates, we'll have to send them to the metal shop for about 3 weeks.
Wow.
So we have to figure out exactly where we, that's the first quote from, what's it called?
I can get you better than that. Talk to
Yeah,
that, please.
send me another one, because I've got 2 or 3 different vendors right now we're looking at on that.
I'm gonna be down to
And
that.
Alden has been the one that's been consistently communicating with us at that point. So, I'm,
But how we can be without gates for 3 weeks?
I know, we'll have to put temporary gates up, and that's what I'm trying to get a
okay.
solution
Yeah.
for.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
Much like the temporary gates that they had up at Phillips Grove, the shorter ones, and then they put up the brand new ones when they were ready for fabrication.
Yeah.
So that will be something we have to decide and figure out. So right now, Alden does not have a temporary gate solution, so that's kind of a big negative against them, but that's something we'll look at as we get more vendor stuff in there. But I did add it to the tracker here.
Okay.
Other key items, we had the road and curb repairs are now a separate line item from the road and seal coating, since they, road and the repairs on the road and the curb should be done ahead of any seal coating. So we do have some discussion around that coming up in the new business section here. The recreation table and tennis court concrete pads are completed up in front. I know he's coming back to, Mike Honnell's coming back to just do a finishing touch on the pad for the table, and that's fully completed. Our tennis court fence, we're looking to start that in early April. The material has been ordered, the fencing, so that'll be on its way. And I had traded some emails with the vendor earlier this week, so they're working to get out here the first, back half of the first week of April and see how that comes together. It shouldn't be that long of a process. It's just painting the horizontals and letting them dry and whatnot. That'll be more of an issue. And then some of the other items there from a send out of the process items, we need to have those postmarked by April 3rd to support the April 17th meeting, and we can talk about that at that slide. One thing I didn't put on here that I wanted to kind of bring up to the board is I know we approved that we would replace the gates, the tennis gates, instead of having the realtor big block lock type of thing. We would move to kind of an integrated key in there. And I did see and talk to the HOA president over Waterford Lakes, pretty large development over there. All their stuff is key fob. So
I was just getting ready to say that's really what we probably need to.
So I told Casey to go back and take a look and see what it would take for key fob versus keys on that. And then we can look at the comparison, because I think you need to make sure we have power out there and whatnot, and we can do a key fob, which is probably the further looking thing to do in that.
You have more control too.
Correct. So as soon as I get that information, hopefully we'll be able to review that in April and figure out what we want to do.
Okay, good. That's a much better solution.
So this is one of the new dashboards I put together for our online strategy. So this is taking a look at, we put working with Leland IT, we put Google Analytics package onto the website, onto the back end to monitor traffic and whatnot. So it's providing us a lot more details in terms of what we're seeing from an overall, who's visiting, how many new visitors we've had for Marchman 4, that was half of last month. Unique visitors, we've had 103 unique logins, so 103 homeowners essentially logging in. Bounce rate there is whenever we send out a MailChimp, if we have a bounce, people disable their addresses, their email addresses go away. That's what a bounce rate comes back in. Average time on the site, for this month, people are spending a little a little over 7 minutes. I think it's like 7.03 minutes on the site. And then year to date, they're spending about 5.5 minutes. But you can see where we get into the the granularity of the details here. That gives us how effective really is the website and what are people looking at and how is it being leveraged going forward. The bottom there, we have 211 registered users, so we had a couple new residents register, so that kind of bumped it up. We have 191 email subscribers in the community and 101 online voting subscribers, so we keep track of those. And then on average, the person, any individual who comes into the site and logs in, on average they're looking at 6.1 pages at a time. So 6 clicks essentially. The 30-day overview here on the bottom is just meant to show you by day, how many visitors we have. Some days you don't have any visitors, some days it pops up, as you can see in the top corner there. Access by device, right now the website is accessed 69% of the time by either a laptop or a desktop computer, 15% by some kind of handheld, some tablet, and then 16% via mobile on a phone. So you're seeing an uptick in the mobile devices, and I think much like everything else, a downswing in laptop hardware, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, but this will be the new dashboard going forward, be published out into the website by tomorrow.
Okay.
So. So committee status reports, we do have some changes around these. ARB, this didn't change much because they don't have any financials associated with it, but I did see Mike come in. Is there anything you wanted to add? I just made notations of the 2 meetings in March, and then you have one on Friday.
Yeah, we have one on Friday to address an external paint request. The ones in March and the upcoming ones have been fairly simple.
Okay.
We have a new request, right, for landscaping?
No, exterior paint, unless there's another one that snuck in.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I just know the one that was paint. Yeah. Then
I
needed
did
to
reach
provide the
out
paint
to the
chips.
homeowner. They did not provide the paint chip samples. They said it's similar to what's already on the house, and we need the paint chips. They were asking if we had a record of the paint chips. I got potentially a previous ARB request, but there was nothing in the legal record. So I'll reach back out to the homeowner and say that they need to have their painters supply the paint chips, just a picture.
Okay. All right. Oop, that didn't show up very well. And the covenant by category, we have the new page that'll be live with all the reporting. We did have an uptick in violations that were issued from what I saw based upon roof cleaning, and that falls under exterior as well as turf, declining turf landscaping stuff. So you saw upticks there. You did have closures in some of the other items, but those again are following the trends that I shared last month. I mean, that's where everything is basically focused in those areas. So here's kind of the new look of the dashboard here, and this will probably make more sense when you have actuals to pull through. But from a social committee perspective, there's your it's broken down by month with it has budget as the red line, forecast, the spend that comes out of the forecast model is in the blue, and then any actuals would be green there by month. And then on the bottom, year to date, there's a full budget of $2,250, the forecast of $1,100, and then no actuals as of yet for social committee. So kind of gives a better snapshot of financial performance and where we're tracking in terms of budget and forecast results. Information technology, got the same update on the financial side. As you can see, we have $150. That's the monthly charge now for the the website management component. I did provide a list after having conversations with Leland IT about what feature functions from the current website do we want to have in the website that they would essentially replicate and host in their server farm, as well as any kind of updated or enhanced items that we want. So they're working on that. Right now they're saying with initial gauge would be they could have a website to be rolled out in late June, but they will have a demo site ready for us to look at in April. so we can take a look and see how it comes together on that. It'll be keeping mostly the same feel and look and everything that's on the current site. It's just that instead of having to go do the, hop to Converged to get anything done, it'll just be a direct link into Leland, and they will manage it directly. So that should give us a better, better performance too in the forms and everything, because Caliber will be linked directly. So there'll be no middleware component trying to have Caliber talk to Vertilink and then becoming disjointed, which it has been in the past. Okay, infrastructure and access control. You can see for the month there, we're running favorable from the first 2 months of the year. Overall, we have a budget across those accounts of $330,000. Forecasted about $317,000 of spend, and right now we're a little under $48,000 in actual spend through the first 2 months. From an overall summary, the tennis court replacement I mentioned will start, materials on order will start in early April. The court gate pads have been completed. We have one of the bids back for the curb replacement and asphalt repairs. We did end up removing 7 dead pines from the front area. And they will be the stumps will be ground down. They're coming back to do that and resolve it.
So painful watching cutting these pines.
Yeah, they're just, we keep losing so many a year in that regard. And usually the wind,
Old, right?
yeah.
It's old.
And they were planted too close together. You can tell on some of them that they're too
Are we
close.
going to replace them?
We haven't replaced any of them because I think we can probably do something with the space other than just pine trees. But we can put something else there. That's not an issue. It's just they're being removed in wherever they're dying, so you don't have like one open swath. There's one over here, one over here. It's kind of a patchwork of removal at this point, unless you cleared them all out at one time, and I don't see a need for spending that kind of money on that.
The remaining ones may start to grow better anyway.
Yeah, especially with some of the smaller ones dying out and getting removed. It could give them the spacing to have a longer life overall.
Yep.
Other item, we had an alligator sighted in the rear pond yesterday, so called the state. They've issued the permit to the trapper the same day. Talked to him today. It should be out tomorrow. They're going to be out today, but the weather was not exactly conducive to alligator trapping, so they will be out tomorrow to look at that. Access control, we had another new guard start the week of March 26th. The other gentleman that we had talked about the last meeting was let go for various reasons. And I'm sure Alan took you through it too, Nick.
Yeah, a little here and there.
Yeah. So, and then I was talking with Angela up there. She might be moving to another company too. So, at some point, with the constant churn and the U.S. security merging with Allied, they weren't the greatest in customer service to start with, but their customer service from a regional office perspective kind of like sucks. They can't get anybody in here. We're burning Allen out again on that. I think we've talked about that before. It could be time for us to take a look at, do we just pick up and find another management or another
Do we have a
security
contract with them, like time limit, time?
the
minimum?
SLA?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing about replacing the guards. It's about having the coverage.
No, but with the company itself,
Can we
just
terminate the
fire them
contract?
and?
Yeah, 30 days notice. It's not, there's no
Just
financial
30 days,
penalty.
okay.
All of our contracts have a 30-day no fault clause put in them.
But we
so.
would try to bring Alan to whatever new company.
Yeah, which I've done that kind of stuff before. That would be part of the contract being awarded. If Alan or like Carmelo are open to it,
Yeah.
we can pull them across, Dionysius, but considering we just took a 3% price increase from them and we're not getting exactly 3% more value, if anything, the value has been decreased in terms of staffing and their inability to staff effectively and efficiently. It could be time to look elsewhere outside. Not that I don't think you're going to find any top shelf security company when they pay what they pay these guys, but we need to have something a little bit more, I guess you want to say,
Reliable.
Consistent,
put together.
yeah.
Reliable.
Because if Alan gets hit by a bus, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
So, did you have anything else from access control that you talked to Alan in your conversation? I know you talk to him weekly.
No, you went over it. He's been pulling extra hours. Feel bad for them, you know. The trouble with the company you were just talking about. No, everything else is fine, I guess. Some incidents here and there, but nothing like emergencies or anything that's catastrophic. So we're all good.
Okay, so that kind of takes us through infrastructure and access control. Continuing business. This was the update for the policies. In the last meeting, we updated the payment plan policy, so that, and we approved that, so that's done. So essentially, we will be getting out a mailing or email for those that opted in to cover the record request policy update, the covenant violation policy, and then the online only policy. The record request policy I sent out a while ago. I don't think it's anything, how do we say, earth-shattering, other than we have all of our documents located on the website. People need to go there first before they make, document requests, or they'll be just, if any, level, first document request always goes to the website. Even Leland's going to route them to the website. Covenant violation. I know we went back and forth on that as a group. Mike, did you have a chance to review that I sent over from Tom Slayton?
Unfortunately, I've been
Okay.
running pretty hard. I will get it done
All right.
before the weekend.
Okay, yeah, just let me know your thoughts on that, since I think there was like 1 or 2 items in there that Tom wanted clarification on, and we can firm it up and have that ready to go to the print shop then.
Okay.
And then I'm waiting on the online only policy. I talked to Steve Rittner over at Larson today. They'll have that by tomorrow morning sent over, and I'll distribute for review. So Maria is aligned with getting this into the print shop. That they know the job's coming, so it's just final number of pages, get that thing slapped together, and then it'll be postmarked by April 3rd. All right, new business. First one, street cleaning. We brought this up when Tom was here at last meeting. So we will work to get the street, the roads, get a road clean done here, and collect the leaves in the curbing area. I contacted 4 companies, Brightview, Blown Away. It's not actually Central Florida Sweeper, it's Pro Central Florida Sweeper. The one you gave me,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I misread
Okay.
it. And DNA Building Services. Brightview had an estimate of $8,100 to do the entire community. DNA was $36.69, and then Blown Away and the other one, they have not provided a quote because nobody ever called you back. Or when they do call, they leave a message, and then you call them back, they're not there. I mean, it's just playing phone tag on that. So I can reach out to them again, but at this point, I mean, we can approve a not to exceed for DNA of $36.69.
So this 3669 is for how many times? One time?
One time, the entire community.
To go all the way around,
With you.
pick up all the leaves.
Yeah. So we at least have to do it once from council.
So how they will clean? I mean, is it power wash or?
They're gonna have a basically a vacuum and then have a brush truck come through. So they'll remove the leaves and then do a brush truck.
Yeah, but after 2 weeks it will
Yeah.
go back.
Yeah, but we're not paying $3,600 every instance of it. So we're gonna do it once and then.
Yeah, I'm not, for this.
So why we are spending?
I agree.
Because technically it is common area, and Tom said we should do it at least once to provide common area maintenance. So we checked the box on that.
I just feel like, living in Avalon, I pay for my own landscaping. But aside from that, Waters and Boca also pay for their landscaping, and their landscapers do it. So by us doing this, I feel like Waters and Boca are paying twice to have the leaves removed. So, and myself included, but.
No, I agree 100%.
If we have a contract, let's first identify the common areas which require cleaning.
Every road that has a curb.
Every road, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Not sidewalks, so this
No,
is just
sidewalks
roads
just the
and
roads.
curbs.
No, the machine would destroy grass probably.
Oh, yeah.
So why don't we spend this money on cleaning, let's say, the playground area? Because I heard some complaints from residents that the playground area, the dog waste station are not clean.
That-
Yeah,
That's
but
a separate issue with the landscaping company, because it's, Brightview does that, but they're here every 2 weeks. Now, they start back up every week, so that basically solves the issue at that point.
Mm.
But I think we can't mix apples and oranges about
yeah,
cleaning the waste.
So how
paper.
frequently we need to clean the roads and,
well, we can do it whenever it gets excessive, if it gets really bad.
so what
minimum
are the
time.
criteria of excessiveness? Is it excessive now?
Well, let's fall back to the legal definition. It's a common area, and if we're gonna maintain a common area, you have to at least show diligence that you did it once. This is a one-time shot.
So basically, we gotta do it once.
If you wanna do more than that, I mean, there's nothing stopping us as a board from saying, okay, you know, it's excessive again, let's.
I don't see that our roads are so, like, excessive.
Well, I don't think they are in Boca and Waters because their landscapers do it.
Mhm.
But in Avalon, the landscapers are not doing it.
Right.
So it's bad in Avalon. But Boca, I mean, Boca and Waters, I walk those neighborhoods almost every day. And the
Yeah.
first part of the week, they're bad. But by the time all the landscapers come in, they're nice again.
So, if we restrain our cleaning to Avalon only, it will be like less than 3,000?
It'll be less than that, but I don't want to have someone point the finger at me from Boca or Waters to say that we're having selective maintenance of common
Yeah.
areas.
Total precast to do it all.
So, I mean, it has to be the whole thing. It has to be
Yep.
all or
All or
nothing type
nothing.
of thing. It's one of the,
So, we have a contractor for landscaping in Avalon, right?
that's the Avalon's. That's not ours. That's not Turtle
That's
Creek.
not Turtle Creek, that's Avalon
Avalon,
HOA.
So, and I mean, Brightview does take time to do the, you know, the entranceway, the two long and around that.
Yeah, that's
They-
what I meant.
They will work on getting that done, you know, but at the same time, that they're not contracted to go through the entire community like that with, you know, to deploy the manpower to get the, you know, the leaf machines out and the trucks and mulching and all that
Mm.
stuff that comes with it. And I can tell you from, you know, DNA Building Services are the same folks that do the power washing every year, and we've had them do that for the
Oh,
last
yeah.
3 years, and they've been by far the cheapest every single time.
They've done a good job too.
And they do a good job.
Yeah.
So I have 100% confidence we'll get our money's worth for $3,600.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to at least get another quote though. So we've got another one to,
I'll reach out to them again, and we can do a not to exceed of $36.69, you know, because that would be the top end.
yeah.
But I'll reach out to Blown Away and then Pro Sweep for Central Florida, the one you got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got me, Lou.
Yep.
So.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll make the motion to approve for the street cleaning and leaf removal a not to exceed amount of $3,669.
I'll second.
All in favor?
All right.
No,
Nay, not for me.
Okay. Next item we have are the additional benches. I know we had talked about that. We had put in the new benches up there on the pads. They looked great, had nothing but favorable feedback on all of that. So I know we had talked about putting in something maybe in Water's Edge, over, you know, where the fountain is, and at the entrance to Boca, or on the one side where the Avalon wall is, something there. So, but I figured since we have a meeting, we can take the meeting to at least approve the potential, you know, and not to exceed 3 benches. And then if we order 1, fine, it's already approved, because they do take 5 to 6 weeks, since they're custom, to do it. So 3 benches are $3,700, and that includes taxes, shipping, and then install with the concrete pad.
Oh, total.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
good.
gonna ask, we
Yeah.
need the
Good.
concrete pad, I don't wanna
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, everything will be a
Yeah.
concrete pad.
Good. Excellent.
Yeah, I'm good with
So,
that.
and again, if we only get 2, then fine, then we only get 2, or we get 1. But I figure we'll just do 3, let's get it out of the way, it's on the books as approved, and we can, you know,
Mhm.
go from there and figure out what spot they go in.
Okay. I'll motion for that.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Last item is the street repair and curb replacements. So back when we were first kind of looking at the road seal, or seal coating, excuse me, we had vendors come out, we had Sam Carr come out, they found a minuscule amount of road that needed to be addressed from an asphalt perspective, a cutout, repatch, whatever reason. I think it's 5 spots. It's a total of like 294 square foot. It's and considering we're almost 400,000 square feet across on asphalt in our community, it's hardly anything. But we also have 4 curbs that are holding excessive water. And they're all in all 3 communities, just due to the undulation has changed, and that from roots or that it's bottomed out and it's holding the water. And usually your barometer of that is if you have standing water like 24 hours after a rain event, then usually you have a water issue. In some of these places, I mean, it's standing there for 2-3 days, and it's not dissipating at all. So I had Asphalt 365 come out, Vice Painting, the guys who did the concrete replacement on the sidewalks came out. They're working on their quote, as well as 2 others. What was it? Rock Concrete, as a CAI person. They came out as they're a vendor, and I see them on a monthly basis. So we do have some quotes in process, but Asphalt 365 did send their quote out, so they will do the street repairs and the 4 curbs for $9,900. So considering that they have to remove the curbs, the concrete, mitigate whatever's underneath it, either repack it or take out the tree roots, then cut into the asphalt, and then repatch and do all that. It's a job for the curbs, and they have to have the laser level to shoot it to make sure you can get the water moving again. So I think we do a not to exceed for that amount, and then we'll see where Vice and the other guys come in, and maybe they're lower. But if they're not, then we can have Asphalt 365 do it.
Yeah.
So how big is each these of 4 curbs, like 3 by 3?
You're talking. I mean, some of them have to have. If you see, you've seen the joints between them.
Yes.
In like a 3-foot section. Some of them have just one section that needs to be taken out of them. I know there's 2 of them that need like 4 of them to create the run. So you're talking. Some of them have and one of them goes around a curve too. So now they've got a.
These are all in Avalon?
No, there's one in Waters, 1 in Boca, and 2 in Avalon.
So one of the ones in front of my house over there, it's bad.
It's down in the corner by there, and then
Is it a tree issue or?
sometimes it's a tree issue. Other times we have one that there's no tree by it, so it's just I don't know if the base had sunk a little.
This
and
was
just
just,
flattened it out.
I think it was the builder that didn't do it right.
Probably most
That's
likely.
what it looks like.
Is that the one next to you?
Yeah,
That
it's right.
one with the washout that's constantly there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a big puddle there all the time. Yeah.
So, yeah, we can. I can always have them take a look at it because if whoever go with it, if they're on site, if we needed to address it, we can obviously take a look at it. But those are the 4 main ones that really.
It's not a sinkhole, right?
No.
No, we don't.
Is it?
You can see that you can see
Goodbye,
that
Lou.
one side's as straight as an arrow, and then
Storm, stop.
it's
Goodbye,
it's
Derek.
not like this. It does this, but it was from the builder because nothing's moved. The street's as straight as an arrow.
Yeah. And I did ask about grinding it. They said on curbing it, they don't like to do that because it compromises the structural integrity,
Right.
and you'll have a failure quicker than if you just replaced it and
Yep.
did it right.
Yep.
So I thought I'd ask the question because I do remember that lip
Yes.
being there.
Yeah.
So, but if that seems decent to everyone, we can just do a not to exceed for 9917.
A motion for the 9907.
Okay. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then one other item here, I got this in before I came over. Our gatehouse with the heat pump. We bought them the portable heater when it was cold.
Yep.
We had we had a 7,000, and then there was a 4,000 quote. We have a vendor here that'll install a new train, 1.5 ton mini split heat pump, $2,500.
Oh.
Now they may need to increase some cost or whatever for a some piping, copper piping or whatever, but, you know, that gets you the unit, and that gets you the heat pump and the air conditioning, because the air conditioner doesn't work really well since the heater doesn't work really well, so now that we're getting into the,
It's 20 years old.
yeah, the hot part of the summer is gonna be coming soon, or it's gonna start ramping up. I don't think we need to put those guys and gals through multiple fans running at the same time up there.
Yeah, we don't want to wait too long.
Yeah. So, you know, these guys can put it in. This is, let's see, it's from All-Star Central Florida, and they'll do it for $2,500. And that
Plus
comes with,
piping, did they say like about how much that?
at most $750, $800,
Okay.
and that's for all. If that's all piping is shot, which they said probably you're looking at maybe half your piping. So it's not as substantial. The price, you know, that includes the actual heat pump mini split, the installation, the full refrigerant charge, the startup, and 10 years parts and warranty on equipment.
10 years.
Oh, wow.
So, and they said they will pressure test and reuse existing copper line if possible.
Good deal.
Nice.
So,
So we want to do a not to exceed, add some
Well,
money for
that-
this
well,
piping,
well,
or?
we'll just do we'll come back for a change request. They need to come out and do the pressure test on that. If we
Okay.
need to do any copper pipe, because we might not need any.
Right.
But we can make the motion to approve $2,500 from the gatehouse reserve account for the new heat pump. Second?
Second
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, covered that.
Be nice to get that started quickly, because once the heat hits,
Yeah.
everybody's gonna be really busy.
Yeah, so that's why I saw it come in today, I figured it was perfect, we can just talk about it and get it done,
Yeah.
type of thing. So, other items from the board, new business, anything we forgot to discuss?
No.
There was a complaint from some homeowners on social media about the condition of the playground area and the dog station.
Resolved.
Resolved?
Same night.
Okay.
I had,
Oh.
I called Brightview, and they sent somebody out, and they did it, I think
So why it's,
because they come in every 2 weeks right now. Now they come in every 1 week, and they'll take care of it, as
Okay.
they usually do going forward. But it also doesn't help when people continue to throw stuff in containers that are overflowing. But such is life on that.
yeah, we cannot tell them not to throw it.
Yeah, but so when they go again to drop to the 1 week, are they gonna come out, have somebody just come out that other week
For
to?
2 weeks, you mean?
Yeah, when
When
they
we go back
drop
to
to, when they come
and
to
we'll
1
have-
week, no, next winter, when they,
No, we go back to every week this week.
right,
So when
right,
they go back to every other
Every
week,
other week.
yes.
then we'll have to negotiate that in,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
which we'll deal with that when it goes back, which is in October or something.
Yeah.
But they start back now, starting this Thursday, they'll be every
Mhm.
week. And
And,
then-
and there was some complaint about red ants in the area.
Yeah, I having Maria open up a work order to have whoever our pest people are that spray the gatehouse on that. We've never really had a red ant complaint up there, but I mean, we'll have them come out and take a look at it. I haven't had a chance to really kind of go up there and look, but they come out to do the gatehouse, they spray, I think, once a month out there, so they might as well do, if they need to, they can come out and spray if there's an issue at the recreation area.
Yeah, let's make it like as a routine, a part of the routine
Yeah.
pest control.
Once a month?
Once a month
Yeah.
to spray the playground area, because sometimes people bring some food and they leave it there, or crumbs or whatever, and ants come to that area.
Mhm. Anything else?
That's it.
Very good.
Good.
Good all around? All right, we'll open it up to the floor. Items from homeowners? Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm from 10914 with Chase, and the wall from the Park of Island to the wrought iron fence behind our house,
Mm-hmm.
All right, I've spoken to you, I think, before about Brightview mowing that area and or doing something. It's just like basic sand, and sometimes they don't cut wherever it gets to the end, because we're at the end of that triangle.
Doesn't it kind of into like a pie shape at
Right,
the
so
end?
they just stop there. But the back, from my backyard, which I'm trying to get the grass to grow and to make the backyard look good, but then we have to overlook that area in the back. There's no irrigation, there's nothing happening back there. It's just sand and weeds, and so it's not taken care of properly unless I may have to take a ladder and go over there and do it myself.
Well, they're out tomorrow. I'll put on the list to look at it with them. No, Donnie will be out, I'll look at it with them.
And the crepe myrtle, is that a done deal?
Yes.
The back?
Yep. We haven't entertained any more discussion on that. And you said it's turning into sand over there too?
It's like, yeah.
Okay.
Do we have on our website a place where people can post comments, the homeowners can post comments or suggestions or
What
requests?
issues?
You have a contact.
Instead of
contact us.
contacting you personally,
Well, if you use the contact us form, that goes to myself and Maria. So
Okay.
between one of us.
so we have it.
Yeah, it's out there. But we don't have anything per se like if you wanted a comment box or something like a internal.
Like a social media type of thing, like
Yeah.
comment boxes. Yeah.
So maybe we need to post on our board, the exit board, where you have that if you have any comments or requests or complaints.
Your newsletter.
Yeah, we do it in the newsletter.
In the newsletter, yeah.
And the newsletter.
Yeah, because the contact.
Because people were confused on the social media how to contact the Homeowners Association of Turtle Creek. They didn't know how to contact you. So
Yeah, we need to drive them there versus social media. I mean, ants aren't bad, but when they put other things
Yeah,
on social
it
media,
sounds, you
it
know,
affects
horrible.
all of our property values.
when you
Yeah,
read
exactly.
it, it sounds like
It's airing our
we are
dirty laundry.
invaded by
Right.
dance. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can highlight that in the newsletter because that is, I mean, it goes directly to,
To homeowners.
yeah, I mean, any homeowner can get to it, put down any issue, and it'll be routed.
And maybe also we need to post it on the exit or entrance gate
remind people.
to remind people if you have any.
Yeah, that's fine. We can do
Yeah,
that.
because not everybody could look.
And we can put it in the send out that's coming too,
Yeah.
because we're having to send
Mhm.
the mail out with the rest of the
Yeah.
stuff.
Quick question.
Yeah.
I get confused on which website, because I get one to the management company, and then
Mhm.
does it go to another one that's quote ours?
Yeah, yeah,
And
it's,
I don't see documents or anything there, or.
yeah, the website that we're discussing in here
Okay.
basically is www.turtlecreekhoa.com.
Okay,
The Leland Management one, you know,
Yeah.
that you can get into it, and I think they even have a red disclaimer now that's telling people to go to that site because that's where all of our documents are
okay.
on there. But I know you can still make payments there. You can make payments from the other website too. It's just a little bit
That's confusing.
confusing.
To a newbie like me. like-
Yeah. No, it's not really laid out that well, and maybe once we get, pull it back, because right now our website is hosted by a third party.
Right,
Once we pull it into Leland's, basically
Okay.
ecosystem there, we can just go to one single website where everything can be fully integrated.
Perfect.
We won't
Okay.
have that confusion, because
Alright.
I've heard that multiple times.
Yeah.
I can't get in the website, and I'm like, well, which website? I
Yeah.
guess what website
Yeah,
are we
which one
going
is
to?
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe at some point we can redirect the address. So if people
Yeah.
type in the old address, that they get redirected straight
and
to.
clarify it in your newsletter too.
Yeah, we can put that in there too. We can do a comparison of what you get on the Leland site versus what's on the other site.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay? Yes.
Mike, I know, 10946 Emerald Chase.
Yep.
I know you said there was an uptick in letters going out about the dirty roofs in the
Yep.
neighborhood. Can we make like a really, really serious effort
Yep.
to aggressively go after and get a lot of letters out on the roofs? Because when I walk the neighborhood, it just makes me crazy. It only seems to get worse and
That
worse.
was my next step.
And I can tell you, we issued 33 new letters in February for roofs alone. looking at what's been issued in March, we don't have that data as final yet. We've got another 61. So this is probably the highest uptick we've had in roofs in years on this. So again, those are the first notices, and unfortunately we have to work through this is the process,
Yeah.
but at least we're opening these on a more frequent basis than they have been before, so we can, focus attention on that. And then the other thing we're gonna focus attention on then is gonna be the turf, declining turf, because that is, hit or miss, and I know we have really went after that before in the past, and, we just wanna make sure that, we continue to focus on this going forward. So, yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand the question about the roof. What was it about?
It's about the roof getting clean, and violation notices being sent out. There's a lot of roofs, coming out of the winter time here that really are kind of showing their dirt, the black scum on them that need to be cleaned. So violation letters are going out, and we put that as a focus point for our community manager to go through and make sure she captures every single roof and get that out so we can, start to get those cleaned and work through that.
What determines whether a roof is clean or not? Because I had mine cleaned, and I tell you, I could not determine a discernible difference between the two. So
Yes.
what determines whether a roof is clean?
Mike, you had a good explanation on that in the last meeting. Not to put you on the spot.
Easiest thing to look for is you look at the roof, and where there's the aluminum ventwork, you'll see a strip of clean roof. And the rest of the roof is discolored. And so that's mold growing on the roof. So it's pretty much every 3 years in Florida, you need to clean your roof. If we have a lot of rain, it's every other year. If we don't have a lot of rain, it's every 4 years. But bottom line is pretty much half the budget, every 3 years you go clean the roof. But to see the clean, to get the, are they clean or not, usually it's the vent work, because the aluminum inhibits the mold growth, and so you'll see the strip on the roof. Now there are people, so that isn't always true, because there's people, and it is recommended that you paint your aluminum stuff up on the roof. And so if they go with a color that's lighter than the roof, then the paint pigment coming off the vent work will stain the roof. So the roof is actually clean, but it's the pigment from the paint that's actually, quote, staining the roof. So Maria has a little bit of a tough job to figure that out. So where you see that predominantly is, so in Avalon, because all the roofs are pretty much a light color except for a couple replacements, the aluminum is the key thing, because you'll see the clean streak, and the rest of the roof is dirty. If you're at Boca Point or Water's Edge, where you have a lot of dark roofs, that's where you start seeing the paint pigment staining the roof. So the roof is actually clean. It's the pigment that makes it look dirty. So, but there are an awful lot of roofs in all three neighborhoods that you could plant a little farm on and grow food if you wanted. I mean, they need cleaning. But the key thing is you look for the clean spot because of the aluminum.
I just have one question regarding the curbing with the flood.
Yes.
Is the other one running glass,
Yeah, the one next to you, Volker's
Yeah.
old house, yes.
That was fixed once,
Mm-hmm.
and then when it fixed, ours got messed up, and so.
That's why it has that deeper curve
It's
that
so
has to
deep
shoot it, yeah.
that Anybody better be real careful in front of 10524, because you can break an ankle.
Yeah, because I know that the tree root is pushing out right at that spot.
Yeah.
And once we kind of mitigate that and level it, I told them to see if we need to remove that deeper piece, because that's been there for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
It
when he
is-
fixed his other.
Yeah, exactly. So we might just remove it at that time too. It's on their scope of work to see if we can have, they're gonna have the engineer come back out after they remove the tree, laser it so they can get that push.
His
you know.
is really, it's really
Yeah.
bad, and it was fixed once.
Yeah, so that is on the list, and
All right.
I know that deep curvature is also on. I told them to take a look at it also, see if we can bring that more back to
Yeah, I
normal.
always need a warning sign and prick your ankle here.
Yeah, or if you ride a bike or something, you're
It's
going down.
dangerous.
Yep. So. Anything else?
Maybe we need to paint it yellow. So that
I'll get it started. Yes, sir.
I have like to put an update for you guys related to the various requests by the homeowner of the house located at 8701 Cynical.
Mm-hmm.
Some here, I think, received the letters from the county. And we live right next door, we are 8707.
Mm-hmm.
The BZA, the immediate BZA of March 7, approved a recommendation for approval. And this particular request is completely illegal. There is nothing in the Orange County Code that would allow them to have, to reduce the rear setback limit. So we filed an appeal, and now going to the BCC, the county commissioners. They just informed me from the meeting that there is an appeal made by my attorney, and I hope that this be denied by the BCC, because for sure, if we have one lot with less reducing the rear setback limit, we're just reducing the value of our properties overall. We just to inform you on what's going on. We filed an appeal, and they have, I think the meeting going to be in about 5 weeks. So hopefully they're going to deny this, because this is completely illegal. I have all the documents proving this.
So then it sounds like they'll take that up at the April county commissioner meeting then?
I think around May.
Yeah, okay, in the beginning, okay, all right. I appreciate that update. I know Mike Orlowski's been working with the ARB, and we've been going, I've seen a lot of email traffic on it, going back and forth, so appreciate the update on that. Yes?
I have a question to ask about that street cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
Now it seems like the trees are slowing down with all the stuff. So if we're going to do it, if we're going to have the cleaning, why not wait until it's bad again?
Again, we're waiting on one more quote on this, and then we'll do it. It's going to be a couple weeks before they get out there, sign the contract, get on the schedule. So I'm assuming that within a couple weeks we're exiting the leaf falling portion, and we'll catch it right at the tail end to do the cleanup before going into normal summer months or whatever. So yeah, it's not happening like tomorrow or anything. Because we haven't signed the contract yet or anything to that effect. So we just first we did it was today. So it'll be a couple weeks before that gets done.
Okay, can you guys send out like letters to the homeowners at least to tell them that they need to sweep? I mean, I don't understand the lack of pride. Like we go out, we blow, we sweep, and I look at the street and it's people come to visit me and they ask me like, what's going on? And some of them live in the worst areas. They come into Turtle Creek and it's like, this is like disgusting.
Yep.
I mean, there's nothing that can be sent to the homeowners to just ask them to sweep in front of their homes? Shouldn't even have to.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put a reminder in the next newsletter and the send out on that, because I do have other bullet points that'll be in that send out that goes to every homeowner. I'm happy to do that.
Okay.
But like we've seen, the majority of the folks either augment. If there's a heavy fall, they take care of it. I've got a 55-gallon bag of leaves that I got to take out to the curb tonight.
Yeah.
The same thing, but majority of folks have their land, it's part of their landscaping. That's their landscaper duty. They pick it up, take it away, whatever they have to do with it. It's all part of the scope of that service. That's what we're seeing across multiple.
So did we have in our last newsletter something about spring cleaning? Maybe we need in our next
was it last one or the
newsletter.
one before? But we'll put that in there again.
Yeah, just
About
to
the
remind
roofs.
the basics. Yeah.
I think that we did talk about the roofs, but I'll put that in there again. That's not a problem. Okay. Anything else? If not, I'll make the motion motion to adjourn the meeting, 7:24 PM.
Second that?
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Need your signature on this.
I do.